Peace, love, and light, family. It's your girl, Morgan Renee Myers, tuning in with you all. So, I am super excited. I have reached 500 subscribers here on YouTube, and I just want to thank everyone that tunes in, subscribes, enjoys what I got going on, or interactive. And I wanted to do like a formal introduction and just share some of the things that I do, who I am, what I'm about. And if this is your first time coming to the channel, or if you're a returning subscriber, you get to understand a little bit about my vibe. So, my 500 subscriber was Sister Latanya Covington. And, excuse me, did I say her name right? It might be Latoya. I know the girl name, Jesus. And I just appreciate her so much. So she will be getting a free gift from me, a crochet scarf. I inboxed her directly and we got that set up. So let's just start off with a little bit who I am, what I do. So I'm Morgan Renee Myers. I am a creative being ever since I was a little girl. I've always been involved in the arts. So whether it was dancing or being in plays or writing plays, being in pageants. I was in a summer program called Upper Bound, where we were taking college courses or taking classes over the summer on a college campus, North Carolina A&T State University. We were on that campus every year. And so my first few credits of college credits were my senior summer year, right before, I graduated high school going to college. So I got college credits over the summer, math and English, that transferred to the college that I went to, which was UNCG. And I love creating. I don't know anything else. I really enjoy conversations. I enjoy hearing people's stories, telling people's stories. I feel like that's very important. That's all that we have. That's really the essence of life, is who people are and what people do. So the whole motivation behind us watching TV and going to shows and being entertained, it's like a reflection of other people's thoughts and realities and things of that nature. So that's my vibe. I'm a creator and I do this in many different ways. I have a gift of, I guess, public speaking publicly to people. One of my jobs right after college was going door to door, knocking on people's doors randomly that you don't know, asking them to buy a service or product for you, and getting compensated or not. That was my first job out of college. So that taught me a lot about how to communicate with people, about the law of averages, that, in a day, if I talk to 100 people, somebody gonna say, yeah, everybody gonna tell me no. And even if they do, that's just the law of averages. So you might got to go a little harder the rest of the week, or do different things in your, personalities. So I have that type of personality about me. I get it from my mom and my dad. They're both people. They don't know a stranger. They the life of the party. They funny, both of them equally in their own way. And so I'm just a perfect combination of that. And yeah, so I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. I currently reside here. I've tried to move. I have moved right after college. I moved to Chicago for 6 months. Then I was going door to door down here in North Carolina. I was doing cable. Up there, I was doing energy supply companies. So then I left and went to Maryland for 6 months, also doing door to door with a different company. And then I came back home to North Carolina. So I've been a teacher in the school system. I've been a teacher assistant for a special needs class. My background, my longest running part-time job is working with special needs through a company called Easter Seals. So I started doing that. My very first job was Food Line. I was cashier Food Line. So I enjoyed that. Even having people coming through the line and engaging with them. You have your certain customers come in, you interact with people, because everybody got to go to the grocery store. So that was fun. And then I started working part-time with special needs with the kids on the UNCG campus, and then whatever adults on UNCG campus. And then I found Easter Seals through a networking. A friend told me about them, and I've been there for about the past 9 years on and off. So I worked there, went to Chicago, came back, worked with them. So I've done that, working with special needs. I've worked in the school system as a teacher assistant. Initially, I just applied to be a substitute teacher, and they needed that spot filled, and I had the background experience with special needs, so I got hired And that was nice. My first like little salary type job, getting in at least 1,000. I think I was getting like 1,300 a month, once a month. So that was a transition as far as income and experience for me. I didn't really care for the school system, though. I didn't really care for some of the disciplinary tactics. Not that they was beating the kids or nothing, but just it just felt very prison-like, felt very confined. A lot of rules. Not saying that kids don't need. Okay, sorry y'all. I had to delete some files from my phone. My video kept cutting off. So I was saying about the school system that I didn't really particularly care for the public school system because I'm aware of the school to prison pipeline. It just felt very prison-like and warden-like. And even as a teacher, some of the things that I was expected to do, it just wasn't for me. I've also taught a summer camp for one summer with some friends of mine, and that was an interesting journey. It was about 5-6 different kids. We had like a music summer camp. So I've also worked at Measurement Incorporated, which is a test grading. I was a reader evaluator is the name of the position. But pretty much all day, the tests that kids take in school, the writing tests, you know, the reading comprehension test, we would get those and we would read over them, and based on the kids' response, we judged, you know, what score they would get. So we were trained on how to score, and then you had to pass it to be able to be a reader. So I've done that twice, 2 different times. I will stay having a job, go do something else, and then come back to these jobs. So that was another one. Now, these some little side jobs that I haven't put on my resume because I either wasn't there long or it was just, you know, I've worked for estate sales, you know, like when people die or are transitioning. They have a bunch of items in their house, and their family may reach out to companies to come help rearrange the house, put prices on it, and then open it up to the community to come out and purchase things from the home. So I help do that for a small period of time. I have worked for 2 Black-owned companies. One was a spa. I worked just not long. It was really, I was in training, and it just wasn't for me. But it was an interesting experience, and I did learn a lot. Customer service and things like that in the spa. And then I also worked at a school, but it was through a company that caters. Taste of the Triad is a local Black-owned company out in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. They make soul food. They have, I actually was a part in that transition of them opening. I believe my art partner or someone reached out to me, and actually my friend Nikema Lee, she let me know that she was looking for different artists to come paint inside the building. So I hit up all my peoples, and they reached out to her. So a few different artists, local artist friends of mine, have murals inside of this establishment. But anyway, Taste of the Triad. I was working at a school out here as a lunch lady. They were the caterers, and that's what we would do, go set up and feed children. So that was my most recent job that I left back in February 2019. It is now November 2019. So this whole time I've just been like crocheting clothes through my brand, More of My Creations, and watching my nephew, Baby Truth. His mom is a school teacher, so while she's teaching the youth in school all day, I'm making sure this youth is safe and being brought up in a loving environment home. We have a lot of fun together. So that's pretty much, that's my upbringing. I'm from Greensboro. These are the different type of jobs that I worked. I went to arts schools for middle and high school. So Penn Griffin School for the Arts and Southwest Guilford High School are both in High Point, North Carolina. And I got in on a magnet program. So I did dance, theater. I was in a modeling troupe called Fashion Forward. And this is the F in sign language. So we was fashion forward. We was styling, honey. And the lady that ran there, her name is Miss D. Whiteman. She was one of the school counselors. She also happens to be my sorority sister. I'm a Zeta. Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, initiate of fall 2011. So I also was into pageants growing up. So I mentioned the Upper Bound program earlier, and that we got to run for like Mr. and Miss Upper Bound, or whichever year you were, you know, you run for that year. We had different like political runs, and I just had a lot of experience with pageants. So I was a Zeta debutante as a child, and so I met some of the women from the Omega Nu chapter that helped guide me, and that is the chapter that's located at UNCG where I went to school at. So when I seen them, I'm like, oh, okay, blue and white, these are the people I used to do pageants with. So I, you know, was interested, and they was interested in me, and here we are. But yeah, Miss D. Wyman, she was a Zeta, and maybe, you know, she helped inspire me too. But that was great. So yeah, so high school was fun, and I just learned. I really got to express myself and be artistic. And so my goal was to go into college. I wanted to be a news reporter, and I'm taking all these random classes, and I can't even remember everything from college, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I was enjoying myself. I was socializing. I was networking. I was in a poetry club on campus called Well Versed Expressions. I was studious. I was passing my grades and stuff. But like as far as going back and remembering anything specific, because communication is so broad, I didn't have a concentration in anything. I was taking like communication with the environment. I took one on like health communication. I can't even remember all the classes. But there were some important classes. There was one that was like a social, one was like on research, which I wish I had taken more notes or studied harder or had some files to revert back to, because I do tons of research now, and that would just be helpful to remember how to organize it. But there also was like a social service one. So we had to pick places to volunteer in the community, and I chose the IRC, Interactive Resource Center, which helps with homelessness, made great connections there. A lot of love and just good vibes. Where am I at? So yeah, I wanted to be I wanted to be a news reporter, and then by the end of college, I hadn't even like interned nowhere, applied nowhere, and I realized I didn't want to tell sad news stories at 5 in the morning. So, my first job out of college, someone offered to teach me to go door to door making sales, doing that, and I did that. And it's not for everybody. Definitely gotta daily training and affirmations and practice and just getting no's. But it was lucrative for me because I have a good personality. I could talk to people even when I was nervous. Like, I had to go through the trials, but I succeeded, and it was commission only. So I was making thousands of dollars a week sometimes. No taxes being taken out as an independent contractor, but you got to save your money and pay them back at the end of the year. Lesson learned. So now in my adult life, like I said, I run a crochet business. My company is called More My Edutainment Group. It's just a condensed version of my name, Morgan Renee Myers, More My. And what I aim to do is educate, but also entertain. So because I'm creative, because I'm a writer, I'm an actress. I just was in a play 2 weekends ago. I played a lead role, got paid for it as my first paid one. But I've been writing and performing since a youth. I even had a play published and performed by UNCG students when I was in 7th grade. And I should technically be getting royalties off that if anyone uses it. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, so now I have a podcast as well called The Exchange, where I like to engage and have the uncomfortable conversations surrounding sex, relationship, and communication. One facet of me doing that, aside from the interviews with the podcast and learning people's stories, is through a poetry book that I wrote called The Celibacy Chronicles. This is the original first copy. There's a updated copy that's available on Amazon, and I will be relaunching this in the spring of 2020 and going on a library bookstore tour with it, so I can have engaging talkbacks and conversations with teenagers around the 15-16 age all the way up to college age. And even my target market is between 15 and 30, but I really want to target in on that like 17 to 22 to 25 area, because that's when you're really getting an understanding of like your body and relationships, or maybe you're not. And so I just delve into real life experiences from being in college, for growing up being addicted to porn, not having a male influence, a consistent male influence or father in the home or around. And so I came up with this in December 2017 after, just being on my journey and feeling like I needed to release. And so that's what came of it. And that's pretty much me. I like to, I think everybody has a story to tell, and I think it's important to tell it. So since I have the gift of being able to communicate with people, that's what I use it for. I used to host events in my city of Greensboro, North Carolina, like a, not really open mic, more like a showcase. I would have a live band playing. I would do skits. I would have poets and live painters. And so, speaking of which, I have painters artwork in this book. I have 13 different local artists that contributed to this book. But yeah, that's what I'm into, and that's what I'm about. So I plan to, the next phase is to bring you all skits, comedic, because we like TV, we like stories, we like watching shows and stuff. So I plan to bring you all some comical, but educational, entertaining skits that deal with the topics of sex, relationships, and communication, because self-analyzation and reflection is important, and it's one of the reasons why we get with the people we get with, and we have kids by, and then we send them to school and we raise them. So like everybody, it takes a village, like the teachers are just as important as the parents, and we all got to help one another. And so I'm just living out my purpose and trying to express and share my journey. I'm being very vulnerable in doing so. I may say some things that may seem off the wall or too much business that other people would not, but I feel like that's my purpose, that I'm able to communicate in that way and open up these topics and get us to talking about them. So I look forward to you all engaging with me, and I hope that you all enjoy my channel and you leave feedback and you share, like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz. Thank y'all so much for getting me to 500 subscribers. Big things are coming my way, and I will continue to share them with you all. So I appreciate you all. Go check out some of my videos. I got some poetry videos. I got some interviews. I have some crochet tutorials up. I do dance videos. I try to do different cooking videos and transition into healthier, more plant-based meals. So you want to see any of that stuff, I got you covered. I'm even going to cross over into some ASMR stuff because people have told me crocheting is soothing for them. So yeah, as I elevate and level up, y'all coming with me, all right? So I appreciate y'all. Peace, love, and light.